Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. As I promised in the last video, I want to talk a little bit about this non-existent shot mandate. Um, our country is not run by an elected king. So our president can't just get up behind a podium and say, I demand or I mandate that you do this, and have that have the force of law. It's not the way it works. On this shot mandate, Biden got up behind a podium and said, I'm going to mandate that all employers make their employees get the shot. And there'll be a rule coming out. OSHA's going to write a rule, and that's how it's going to be implemented. Well, I don't think they ever really plan to have a real mandate. Because if they were serious about it, the rule would have been written before he got up in front of the country and said, we're going to have all employers have to make their employees get a shot. But what they're counting on is all these spineless, weak, government-subsidized employers doing it on their own, even without an OSHA rule. And that's happening. There are companies mandating the shot when there is no mandate from the government, but they're saying there is, but there's not one. Here we are, almost 2 months after, a month and a half after he stood up and said there was going to be a mandate, and the OSHA rule still hasn't been written. And between you and I don't think it ever will be written, because they don't have to write it. There doesn't have to be an official mandate, because all of these corporations are lining up and saying, we're going to make our employees get the shot. I'm sure there's some government money coming back to them, but there is no mandate. A president can't just stand up behind a podium and say and issue edicts. That's not the way our country works. We have a constitution. We have a legislature that passes laws. The president is the head of the executive branch. And yeah, he can tell the executive branch what to do. He can issue an executive order. But that doesn't mean it's a law. That's just not the way it works. There's a separation of powers in our country, and that would be a direct violation of separation of powers. And they know that. Biden knows he can't do this stuff. The Democrats know they can't do stuff like this, but they just do it anyway, because there's plenty of people stupid enough to just fall in line and do what they want them to do without there really being a mandate. So I'm not going to take an opinion. I'm not going to share my opinion one way or another about the shot. That is a personal decision. But whether I'm for the shot or whether I would be against the shot, that is irrelevant. What I am against is mandates from the government about our health. The government cannot, should not, and in my case will not tell me what to put in my body. And that's what my objection to mandates is really about, is a government overreach, tyranny, fascism, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to be told by some government what substance to put into my body. So I encourage you all to take the same stance and push back, because if you allow the government to tell you what medical procedure to have or what substance to put in your body, then there's no limits as to what they can make you do. So whether you believe in the vaccine or the shot or whatever you want to call it or not, that's not what this argument is about. This argument is about the government has no right to tell you or me or anyone else what to put in our bodies. And if we don't stand up against that, then the sky's the limit as to what they can do to us. So, but there is no mandate, regardless of what they say. They're just a bunch of weak CEOs falling in line and issuing a mandate when there is of their own employees when there is none. Biden, they're accomplishing what they want to accomplish without there being a mandate, just by the mere mention of it, because they know there's these weak, compliant corporate CEOs just willing to go along with anything the government even hints at that they need to do. So stand up for your rights. Don't let them run over you. If you want to get the shot, get the shot. But if you don't want to get it, don't get it, and don't let anybody make you get it. That is your decision and no one else's. Take care of yourself. Hope to see you soon. If you got anything out of this, please like and subscribe. See you next time.